So I saw these on Facebook today. They are, well, it is a conversion kit for the FT891, and it converts your old 4-pin 12 volt into just 2 standard power poles, which is kind of nice. I scroll down here, and this is basically what you are going to be printing, and this is what you'll need is 2 M3 pieces of hardware, 1 nut and 1 screw. You're going to need power poles, a little section of wire, and some terminals to go inside the radio. So after you collect those, get everything kind of ready to go, you can open up your radio, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Is we're going to be doing that. 0 Bravo Lima Sierra.
I got a 0 Bravo Lima Sierra.
QSL, you are 5757 into Mike November.
Alright, I'll take that 57. I got you about 45, 45, QSL.
QSL, you're 4573, and good luck. Alright, so I got these right fresh off the printer. Went to town, grabbed myself some M3 hardware. That little nut is going to sit in the back of this, and then the screw is going to go through, and that should go through the radio and kind of tighten that up. We're going to take the power poles right here. Those will fit right through there, and we're only going to need maybe about that much wire. So we'll get this done. These, by the way, turned out really nice on the printer, as you can kind of see. There we go. They turned out real nice. Didn't have any issues with printing them. The first one I did, let me find that real quick. It's a little harder to tell, but I had a small layer shift right there at the bottom. I'm not sure if that's in focus or not, but I had a small layer shift, and it kind of made it kind of ugly. Not that it would have mattered anyway. This is going to be inside the radio, but I wanted something that was going to be nice, and that's where I ended up at. Alright, so you're going to take the little M3 nut, put it in on this side, and you're going to use the screw to pull it into place, and it'll sit, if this thing will focus, it should sit like this in the radio. The panel should be pinched right there in that gap, and when done correctly, that will be the back panel right there, and how the power poles should look when you're done. Alright, so the next step in this process is to remove the screws that are holding the bottom panel on. You're going to have 2 on this side, 2 on the other, and 4 on this side. Now if you have rails like I do, you're going to want to remove those, so you're going to have 4 per side, so 8 and 12. After that is off, you can open up the radio and have a look at the inside. This is the piece you want to remove right here. I'm going to undo these screws here, remove the leads, and with this you're going to kind of push them down to the side, not to the sides, but push them down on each other. That's how it locks in, and then you can push it straight back after these are out. By the way, you may void your warranty doing this, so if your radio is under warranty, or if you don't mind voiding your warranty, then go for it. But if warranty is a big thing to you, then you probably shouldn't do this. I'm just doing this because this is how I wanted to do it. So do this at your own risk, by the way. Alright, so now that the screws are undone, you can lift up those and continue pushing that through. And there you go. That's all there is to it. Now we can come through with our line after we cut it to the length that we need. Not sure exactly how much I'll measure the distance here after a bit, but yeah, you can cut that, put your terminals on there, and this is how it's going to sit in there. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to return after I get that done. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it, but the power poles have a little bit of a, what would you call that, a cutout, I guess, right there that slides perfectly in with the body of the radio. Then you can take the back piece, push that all the way up to the back of the radio there. You should have access to your screw right through there. At this point, you can take your front piece, screw that in there, and it should be secured. So I am going to get some terminal ends on the wire right here and get them hooked up to the radio. Another thing to keep in mind is the polarity of the wires, which way they're sitting in there when you take it apart. This side here is going to be the positive, this side here is going to be the negative, so keep track of that. You do not want to reverse that polarity. And with some new terminal ends made up, this can now be installed. So we'll be doing exactly how I did it before. This is going to be going in like that. That'll be going in behind it, and these will be getting screwed down to the radio. And like I said earlier, make sure that these are correct. You don't want those backwards. So although I'm really careful, doing stuff like this also makes me really nervous. But here it is, we finished it up. You can kind of see how that is in there now, and I guess all that's left to do now is to toss it back together. I did have to shorten the ground just a little bit. I thought maybe I didn't have enough, but luckily there was just enough in there to make the connection. So I'm going to throw it back together, and I guess we'll hook it up to power and see if it turns on. Alright, I do not have an antenna attached, so I'm not going to transmit on it. But here we go. I hit the power button. 3, 2, 1. And look at that. It's working. So I guess I'll call that a success. So it works as normal, and seems to be no problems. That was a nice, simple, easy thing to do. If you're into parks on the air and stuff like that, I highly suggest doing it. It makes it a lot easier for disconnecting your wire from your batteries or whatever. I think it's a much cleaner install. The old 4-pin plug definitely not made to be taken in and out over and over again. So yeah, overall it gives your radio, you wouldn't think it would, but it gives it a much smaller footprint overall, less cables to deal with, but overall a really nice, simple, easy modification to do to your radio to make it just a little bit better. And I think with that, that's going to be the end of the video. As always, thanks for watching.